Buff Bagwell.
Yes.
Hey, man, this is Gary and Chris. Good afternoon, sir. We are live. How are you?
Good, man. Good. I just got back from, I was in New Jersey doing autograph signings. I just woke up, got moving with this time change. Kind of threw me off a little bit. What's going on with you guys?
We're just chatting up here. We got the word a few days ago. You know, TMZ, they were all over you appearing on the Showtime Gigolo show. I actually saw the episode myself, and I'm just, you know, I was kind of curious, man. What sparked this whole career change for you?
Really, what started it was just when you were a professional wrestler for 25 years. You know, it's hard to switch from A to B. You're, you know, I never had to learn how to work a computer. I never had to, you know, do those kind of things when you're a pro wrestler, and you can make great income. Then again, if you become somebody in pro wrestling, it's very hard to become a car salesman and say, hey, you know, can I get off this weekend and go work my shows, because I still make a good amount of money in pro wrestling. But not enough, and I'm 44 and like to make a change, you know. But it's just really hard to go from A to B. Well, my wife saw this show, Gigolos, on TV, I mean, on cable or something, and actually it was the internet. And she goes, "Man, I think I found a show that you'd be cool on."
Right.
And we had no idea of the details or what it inquired. We just saw that it's something that looked like would be up my avenue. I've been a stripper. I've been a wrestler. I've been around that kind of stuff my whole life. So, long story short, we call the people up and they flip on the idea, and I get 11,000 more hits than all their guys put together, and that you know, got Showtime kind of excited, and then so we shot our first show, and I was second among all the other gigolos on you know, internet action. So then they really were on fire about it. So TMZ started calling, and so really it's all just happening real fast.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what's going to totally come out of it, but I'm riding the wave and just trying to see what everybody's kind of flipping out over is, you know, here you are with you're married, and I'm like, well, this is not, you can't have sex on Showtime.
Yeah.
It's a show, you know, it's a television show. And my wife trusts me, and plus, even if she didn't trust me, you cannot have sex on Showtime. It may look like we're having sex, you know, it may look like when you watch a movie, those two people are having sex, but they're not. So that's called acting, and it's called a television show. Well, basically what it is women hire these gigolo guys, and now I'm one of them. They'll be hiring us, whoever they pick, to go on the rates, which Harvey on TMZ knew the rates better than I did. To go to that Cowboys, the number 4 Angels, Cowboys 4 Angels.
Right. It
tells our prices and what it costs to have us, and $25,000, I think, for a weekend or for a week. I can't remember what it was. But it's just, you know, a way to switch from A to B, make an income, and have a little fun on being on TV. So, really what it boils down to is these girls, they call you up, and I'm sure sex may be in the back of their mind, but I run the whole deal. In other words, it's my show.
Right, you're the booker.
Once she signs the contract, I'm just a companion for however long she's asking me to be a companion for. It doesn't mean I got to have sex with her. It doesn't mean I've got to, you know, wear a mask or whatever. I run the entire show.
Right.
So it's just completely up to me, and it's a way to make money and still wrestle and do my appearances and stuff. So that's where it's at.
Yeah, definitely. And just to go back to the Showtime thing for a second, so are you now going to be like kind of a regular fixture on that program from here on out?
That is what they're doing now, is making me, you know, a regular, because of all the, you know, all this action really surprised me, I mean, just kind of surprised me because I thought it would work.
Right.
But it blew their minds that I could go on this show one time and become the second highest rated guy on the show. So they're just on fire about it. So I think they get ready to be a regular on the show, and other guys get like $15,000 a show, and they make their big money with the clients. What they do is they use the show. The gigolos do. You use the show,
right,
to build up your clientele.
Yeah.
And then you go out with your clients. You've got regulars. You've got, done the perfect place for that, which is Vegas. And so you got a perfect place to do something like that. Atlanta may be a little bit harder because, there's a lot more action going out in and out of Vegas than there is Atlanta.
Yeah.
What they're wanting to do is have me run the Atlanta location.
All right.
And they're wanting to go from Vegas into Atlanta and have an Atlanta location also as well. So all this, like I said, is coming at me a million miles an hour, but it's something that I think wrestling came at me a million miles an hour too. So I'm ready for it. I'm excited about it. And life, it seems like it's getting back to bad or good publicity is good publicity. So, whether it's bad or good, it's still, like me and you talked all month this month to try to get out some reason to get TMZ to be interested. Me and you come up empty. Well, we figured something out that TMZ did not. They're very excited about it, and it seems like everybody else is too. So we're going to ride the wave and see what happens, and very excited about my new change.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite a change, and it almost kind of seems like it. I mean, talk about. I mean, because
the story is everybody's flipping that I'm married. You're like, wait a minute, hold on. How can you be married and do this?
Sure,
it really is. It really is. We can't have sex.
That was my next question.
On our contracts we signed, that the woman signed, that I signed, you can't have sex. And then Harvey's, on TMZ, his first reaction was, so if they lay $25,000 out, you're not going to have sex with them? And I just kind of made a joke out of it, which I'll make a joke out of it now. I'm like, hey, everybody's got their price.
Yeah.
But contractually, I would be doing something wrong to Showtime and to the contract we signed. So it is not a sexual thing. It is a companionship type thing where a woman would hire me to go to a dinner. A woman would hire me to go to a convention with her and be seen with a good-looking male that she's happy to be seen with. And she may be single. She may be in a marriage that she's unhappy in, but it all equals, putting me in a position where I can help her out in that situation.
Sure. I mean, talk about the difference of the pressure of trying to entertain, 20,000 people in an arena versus trying to entertain one woman. Cause, sometimes entertaining women is not always the easy thing to do. So
No, it's not the easiest thing at all.
So expand on that a little bit. I mean, that kind of challenge for you.
Well, I can't expand on that except from just life, being around women my whole life and being a very sexual male and being in the pro wrestling world, I could, devour on that part of it. But as far as Showtime rules, Showtime contracts, I can't because this all just started. I don't really know how this is going to throw down. I don't know when the girl takes me out and pays $800 and I say, no, I'm not, I don't, feel like doing that, if she's going to flip and not let me, not want to pay, or I don't really know how all this is going to really 100% play out. I just know what, Gigolo has told me, which is, this is how it goes down. This is how it works. And, being married, if your wife trusts you at all, it's no more than her trusting you in Atlanta. I mean, if you want to screw around in Atlanta, you can screw around in Atlanta. So this is more just a television show that is giving women a chance to hire gigolos.
Right. In terms of your wrestling career, I mean, is your wrestling career over? I mean, are you going 100% into this?
I would like it to be. I still love wrestling and still will wrestle. But I'm also a 44-year-old man. So I've got to look at some other avenue. A 44-year-old man that's broken his neck twice. And, I'm still in really good shape and all that. But, it's not like I'm 26 anymore and it's Nitro. That's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I've got to look at a plan B, and this was the easiest plan B I could come up with that made sense enough that I could make my own hours, my own time, and still get a hell of a paycheck out of it.
Yeah.
Not selling cars or, working 9 to 5 somewhere at minimum wage and get your own hours.
Yeah.
I'm getting my own hours and getting paid a lot of money to do so. So I could have said, no, I'm not available this weekend to Gigolos, and I went and did my autograph signing, where if you told your boss that at the Honda dealership, they're going to tell you, get your ass to work or you're fired. So, this is the best thing that's made sense in my life yet, with the comparing it to keeping wrestling in it. And I mean wrestling as in wrestle every once in a while, doing autograph signings at legend shows and things like that.
Well, and this career choice is a hell of a lot easier on your body too. So,
and it's a whole lot easier on my body, and have a little fun. I mean, I love women.
Of course.
I love my wife, but at the same time, I love being around women, and so it's just something I can do and have a little fun with, and my wife trusts me enough to let me do it. So that's what's going on.
Cool.
That's awesome. And it sounds like that. It sounds like you didn't have any problems making the transition, away from wrestling, because more often than not, you see a lot of the guys, they have such a hard time either letting go or being able to move out of that world and into something else. So it sounds like
this really is everything I've done my whole life. I was a male stripper at 18,
right.
And then at 18, I tried to become a pro wrestler. So I was trying to become a pro wrestler while I was still a male dancer, because, of course, as usual, male dancing didn't pay the bills fully for me. Yeah. So I was trying to become a wrestler. I was looking for a career. So I became a wrestler and quit stripping as I became the handsome stranger out in Global. And then from there, WCW hired me. And once you sign with the WCW or the WWF, there is no time. You're a wrestler. You're swamped.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
Long story short, this is not like that. It's giving me plenty of time to do other things and still make money doing it. So I'm real excited about it.
Are you still engaged as far as watching the current product? Is that something that still interests you?
I really do try to watch it. I don't agree with a lot of it. Like I see guys that come out with belts on that I don't even know their name, and I've been in the business 25 years. And if I don't know their name, the fans don't know their names. So I really don't quite understand and see where they're going. Back in the day, guys looked like me and Scott Steiner. Now guys look like skinny guys that don't go to the gym. I don't quite know where everything's going. I mean, like Daniel Craig, he's phenomenal. He's over. But he don't look like me and Scotty looked. He don't carry the pro bodybuilder, pro wrestler look about him. He's walking around the mall. There wouldn't be 5 people speak to him. You let me walk around the mall, and I'm going to get mobbed. And same with Scott Steiner, because of the way we look, and then they put the wrestling with it, and then you got people asking you questions. But and that's a big part of television, and a big part of how we got paid was how we looked. Well, now it seems like they don't care so much about that in the wrestling world. So I try to watch the beginning of the show to see who's coming out first. I watch midway through to see what's going on, and I always watch the main event to see who they think the biggest stars are.
Yeah,
I try to keep up with it.
I remember we actually did an interview with you back in September of 2007, and you had quite an interesting perspective on, say, like TNA. You were like, you put up nobody against nobody and it equals nobody. And, it's funny, Buff, because I look at TNA now and they're trying to hit that reset button for the 100th time. They have a pay-per-view on tonight. I didn't even know about it. Yeah. They have a pay-per-view on tonight. I didn't even know about it. And I just wanted to kind of get your thought about that.
I said, I'm in the business 25 years and didn't know about it and couldn't say the name of the pay-per-view or anything.
Yeah.
And that's bad. That's bad when Buff Bagwell don't know that. Buff Bagwell should know that. They were at the Gwinnett Center here about 6 months ago, and I just drove up there and drove in and walked in. And they just ate me up, and oh God, you look great, and it looks like you ain't aged a day, and you look, all this stuff. And me and Eric did text back and forth, and all of a sudden, guys started getting fired, and it was the same old story. TNA is going under, and it was over again, So I just can't imagine being in the wrestling business. You've got Buff Bagwell living in Atlanta. You're running a Gwinnett show, which is 20 minutes from my house. Why would you not have Buff Bagwell come in and get beat? Put me on TV, beat me. But why not put me on TV? People know me better than they know the other guy they're beating. So why not get a better rating and beat me? I'm not asking to win. I'm asking to be part of a show and help them build a product.
Yeah, part of the cast.
It just blows my mind. You would not want Buff Bagwell as part of the cast. Put me in the background. At least they know there's Buff Bagwell there. Right now they're going, oh, who's that guy there?
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't say that if I was on the show. They'd say, hey, there's Buff Bagwell, and I think that adds to their programming. But they obviously do not see the same way as I do, and I, I'm not in the clique. All my clique is, either hurt or too old. And the only guy I got really to help me out is Sting.
Right.
And he's done a lot for me, trying to help me out.
Sure.
But nobody's really fully given me 100% try to help me. And so it takes that in this business and Hollywood and anything else. The more people the better off it is. And the old saying, I hate to say it this way, but it's who you know or who you blow. And in this business, it's hopefully you can get by with just who you know.
Sure. Hey, one more thing on the TNA thing. Is there anything that can really save them right now, Buff, in your opinion?
No, I don't think there is, and that's why I'm not mad about them not hiring me, because hiring Buff Bagwell is not going to save TNA. Right. Hiring The Rock is not going to save TNA. So why put out a couple more $100,000 a year when it's not going to save the company? So I understand their position, but I still don't understand keeping the show on television. Either shut it down, or do hire a Buff Bagwell that may switch that channels a little bit more, may make something happen. It may make somebody want to come over. And then you got The Rock and Buff Bagwell, maybe a Goldberg on TNA. Now you guys are heavy players, and maybe you got a chance to do that. But you just can't have match after match people going, now who's this guy here? What's that guy's name? So you just can't have it. You got to have name power. You got to have name value, and they don't.
You think that's something else that is maybe an issue with WWE? Because I know, a few years ago when we talked, you were talking about how you didn't really see John Cena. And this is back in 2007. He hadn't had his full potential yet, but you were kind of thinking, he's not really that top guy yet. He's not that franchise.
I think he's there. I still don't think, I mean, just being totally honest, I don't think he's a Rock. I don't think he is a Sting. I don't think he is a Goldberg. I don't think he's a Stone Cold. But I think he's bigger than a Buff Bagwell. I really do. Now, mainly because of the way they've pushed him, God getting credit for being bigger than me. But when you just lay out the facts, no, he's not as big as The Rock. No, he's not as big as Stone Cold. No, he's not as big as these other guys I'm talking about. But then again, you give me the same push, and I think I would be just as big as John Cena. He's not that cornerstone guy. He's not that super mega superstar The Rock has become. He's not that super mega superstar that the Stone Cold had become. He's just WWE's number one guy. And with a little bit of help, a lot of guys could be that guy. He's just got the look, he's got the ability, and was at the right place at the right time, I think, to be their poster child. And he is now WWE's, poster boy. He looks great. He's got a great body. He's a nice kid. And I think he's got a chance of, obviously, as we already know, of being a superstar for a long time. So good luck to him and all that. But I still don't see him as a mega superstar like in my day. And like I said, I'm not saying not bigger than me. He's definitely bigger than me. But he's not a Rock. He's not a Stone Cold. He's not a Sting. He's not a Lex Luger in the day. He's not that kind of star. He just never has and never will be.
Now, you mentioned Sting. I wanted to get your take on this because, there's rumors flying around that he may sign with WWE this year. What do you think a guy like Sting in 2014 could add to WWE, in your opinion?
Once again, I don't think a whole lot. But to him, it would add tremendous things. It would be a guy going from one company to the next for the first time ever. It would definitely draw great for one big rating of a WrestleMania, him versus The Undertaker or something. Come on, man, that's tremendous, So, yeah, I think it adds to the WWE and would help them a lot. But what I mean by WWE and TNA is going to take more than just one guy to switch that. When used to, we brought in Macho Man, and that was a big deal. Well, if you brought in Macho Man, God rest his soul, if you brought him into either one of those companies today, it's not going to be enough to save the show. Yeah. And Sting's not going to be enough to save WWE. It's going to be enough to get them talking. It's going to be enough to, this and that. But even in the heyday, remember, we had 15 guys in the NWO and Sting. So Sting was the good, and we were the bad, and then we made it work. There's got to be a good side. There's got to be a bad side. And there has to be a team that's working together to build this company. And we had that. We had our mid-carders, we had our Disco Infernos, and Sharp Boys, all the way up to, the Guerreros, to your Buffs and Goldbergs and Stings. We had a heck of a card, Steiner Boys. It was a hell of a show. It really was.
Oh, definitely. And I know you had mentioned that, you don't see the one guy, and you'd seen a bunch of guys, but one guy that has come back and not been, the fans haven't really been receptive to his return, and he's, I guess, pushing 40 years old, is Dave Batista. What do you think about him coming back? I don't know if you have.
I think Batista's I think he's good to come back. Once again, I don't think it's going to be a ratings and game changer. But anytime you can add a Batista to your schedule and he looks the way he looks, I think that's great. But it just ain't going to be enough. Now, you bring a Batista, a Kevin Nash, a Buff Bagwell back, and you had 3 or 4 big names that you could bring back. I think that's what they're missing. Bringing one big guy back, when I watched 2 commercials the other day and didn't know either one of the guys, for our WWE show, that ain't going to make it. It's got to be guys that people knew. Everybody knew WWE, WCW guys. Everybody knew WWF guys. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take that kind of thing.
Right. And now I got one more for you, and I do appreciate your time today. I wanted to get your thoughts on CM Punk walking out. Was that the right or the wrong thing to do? Your whole take on that whole situation.
I just don't see... I don't think CM Punk is in that area. He's too small. That's why they kept him and The Rock as far apart as they could until they had to wrestle, because when you really stand The Rock against CM Punk in the ring, they just don't look like it fits. You got a 250, 60-pound guy to The Rock down to a $180, $185 CM Punk. Mm-hmm. Nothing against being a $185, but TNA's got a division called the X Division for guys like that. I think that's a good thing to have. But as far as being the world heavyweight champion, CM Punk should not be. He's not big enough. He don't look the part. He's heard. I bet you if you asked him, he told the truth. He has heard 1,000,000 times, "Wow, you're not as big as I thought you were." And that's not good for pro wrestling. You want to be big. You don't want to be a pro bodybuilder and not be big. You got to be big, to make it believable, to make it more realistic. And I don't think he's that. He just don't carry that kind of power. John Cena looks like a stallion.
Uh-huh.
You got to at least look the part. Scott Steiner looked like a stallion. Buff Bagwell was shredded to pieces and was 250. I mean, I'm not saying that guys need to be cookie cutters and everybody needs to look the same. But for some reason, they're really going back to the guys that work out a couple times a week, don't really watch their diet and don't really care. And to me, that's part of wrestling. It's kind of like a bodybuilding show. That'd be like pro bodybuilders not tanning, not training, not watching their diet. And how many times are you going to go see Mr. Olympia if they don't look that good? You're not going to go.
Yeah.
So it's going to take more than one guy, and it's going to take guys like, the big Batista and guys like that, I think, to turn it around. It's going to take some big boys with some big names. And they're out there, man. They're out there. I'm out there. There's guys out there that have got a 5-year, 6-year window. Maybe a little longer in my case. I'm just 44, man. I'm at the age of what the guys were when Nitro happened before. Lex Luger and those guys were my age right now when we were doing Nitro before. So I'm still way in the ball game as far as the age goes. It's just a matter of if they want to use me or not, and obviously they don't. I'm very easy to reach.
Other than you and Batista, I mean, who's just give me maybe 2 or 3 other guys you think that could really, turn the game around.
I think Scott Hall. I think now where he's at, he could be a chance to come in and do something. I think you could rebirth the NWO right now. I was just at a signing yesterday, and there was. I bet you I saw 100 NWO shirts, and this has been 15 years ago. He wore these shirts. Kevin looks good enough. He's in good enough shape. I'm in good enough shape. Scott Hall, believe it or not, now is in good enough shape. You got X-Pac, which his thing was never shape, but he looks just like X-Pac used to. So there's 4 of your main 5 or 6 there was anyway. Hogan still looks great. There's Hogan. I think where they're missing out on is doing the NWO again. I think they could do it again. I think it could work, and I think they're crazy not doing it.
Fair enough, Buff. Real quick, before we let you go, tell people where they can, find you, your website, anything else you want to plug before we go.
My Twitter account, Facebook, everything's under one thing. It is @RealBuffBagwell. You can reach me at @RealBuffBagwell. That's my Twitter account, my Facebook account. That's everything. That is @RealBuffBagwell.
There you go, guys. Go get him. Go talk to Buff.
If you want information on the Gigolos,
yeah,
go to Cowboys4Angels.com. Cowboys4Angels.com.
Buff, thank you so much, man. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Take care, man. See ya.